Hello everyone, KJ4YZI. And in the course of a normal work week, I could do a lot of driving, a lot of windshield time from one end of Florida to the other, but that means a lot of time to talk on ham radio. So by the time I get home, I don't feel like talking on ham radio because I've worked the world from my truck. But lately, I've been on D-Star, on 30 Charlie, okay? I get on HF, I get on FM Simplex, I get on CB radio, 11 meters, talk the world from my truck every day. And when I start talking to somebody, the conversation, if I start running out of material or it gets stale, I'll turn to them, hey, tell me about your operating practice or your operating QTH. Do you get on HF? What kind of antenna you got? What kind of radio do you got? What's your favorite HF mode? Where can I find you on a day when you're on HF? And there's been a couple instances, responses to me and other people talking as I listen out of your fellow ham's mouth that says, well, I'm a technician. I've been a technician for about 5 years, and I thought about getting a general, but I live in a quarter-acre lot in Florida or Georgia. I can only put up a simple dipole, man. I can't get on HF. But one day, I'm going to buy my own house, and I'm going to get that 80-foot tower. I'm going to put that huge beam up there. Then I'll be able to get on HF and talk into Europe. Who the hell told you that, number one, that you need that? Number two, you sound stupid, okay? This is the problem, I think, is the fact that I think brand marketing from these ham radio manufacturers, I was a part of this. People on YouTube pushing products and telling you that that antenna that you spend $350 for is going to get you the contacts that he's getting. No, it doesn't work that way. It's kind of sad the hobby's become to that. How could I work the world on a 3.5-foot antenna on my truck from 40 to 6 meters? Eric, what do you mean? I would never settle for an antenna that small. Right. For instance, like this. As an example, this is a 10-meter ham stick. This is made by Shark Antennas. All USA made. In the USA, hand-tested, hand-wound, hand-tuned, hand-bent when they test it, handmade fiberglass, handmade stainless steel. USA made, okay? So this is a 10-meter ham stick. This is a 40-meter ham stick right here. Why does the 40-meter ham stick fit in the 10-meter ham stick package? Good question. Why would you even use something like this? I thought you needed a 32-foot vertical to get on 40 meters, Eric. Because somebody memorized answers out of the question book and never really figured out what they were doing on ham radio. Okay? A simple dipole is 2 quarter-wave antennas fed directly in the middle, like this. You could do vertical, you could do horizontal, okay? But it's where every ham has practically started. You can make it out of spare wire and very, very minuscule materials to make this antenna, to put in your backyard 10 feet off the ground and work Europe and all over the world. I'm not sure why people think you have to have a lot of stuff. And that's what's holding a lot of people back in this hobby, is because people ain't got money now. People have been told watching YouTube videos and other things that you have to get this. It all comes down to the manufacturing process, the quality of workmanship, and the real estate in the air. I say real estate, you'll hear it sometime in this video, real estate. How much antenna do you actually have in the air? But that doesn't mean you have to have all that antenna in the air. For instance, if I have a 10-meter dipole, okay, and that's roughly 16 feet, a couple inches, one end to the other, you could work the world with that, with 100 watts, with 50 watts, with 25 watts, with 5 watts, QRP. You don't need all that. But if I had an 80-meter dipole, there's no gain on that. It's an 80-meter dipole. But look how much real estate you have in the air to receive signals and to transmit, okay? Now, if you get on that same 80-meter antenna with a tuner, well, certain bands are resonant as multiple wavelengths down, but that 80-meter antenna, 130-something feet end to end, is going to give you gain on 10 meters because you have more what? Real estate in the air, more wire. Now, if somebody tells you, hey, this 20-foot dipole is going to perform like an 80-meter dipole, it's not possible. I mean, you got more area, real estate, in the air with 80-meter antenna versus 10. But You can get on the air with a 10-meter antenna, a 10-meter dipole, a 20-meter dipole. That's 32 feet, 16 feet each direction. You can fit that in your yard somehow. I know you can. Not HOAs, we're not talking about that. Put up a 20-meter dipole and tell me you can't make contacts DX. It may be the operating practice because that antenna is resonant to send and receive signals across the world on the band that it's cut for. Let me take it outside real quick and show you on my truck. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Let's go back to the real estate comment I made just a few moments ago. Now this is my work truck. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 antennas on here. Now this is my main HF antenna. This is a little Tar Heel HP, 40 through 6, handles 400 watts. And this antenna is motorized, okay? So I have a controller inside, and I could raise and lower the actual coil of this antenna. Why would I do that? Well, I'm moving it up and down to make it, resonant on the band that I want. No tuner needed. But look up top. There's only like 38, 39 inches or whatever that is of real estate. Remember, real estate. That's all the whip I have in the air. So the antenna is radiating from the whip, not from this. So this isn't a magic coil. This isn't, oh man, Eric's antenna is bigger, it's gonna be better. Nope, doesn't work that way. Okay, it's a resonant antenna. Just like this one over here. Now this one is the Perfect CB by Compact Tenna. This is a CB, this is my 11-meter antenna. And although this looks cool, a lot of the reason I have this on here is because it works perfect, but also because it's cool. When do you see a CB antenna like that? But here's the moral of the story. It's a compromise. What would work better than an antenna like this? Well, it'd be a 102-inch stainless steel whip because you have what? More real estate in the air. This doesn't mean this is an exceptional, game-changing magic antenna. Oh, there's your coil. Remember when everybody came out with the monkey maids and stuff on CB? And everybody thought that giant coil in the middle was giving you performance, and all it was doing was shrinking your antenna down. But I could talk from all the way from Australia to Australia from this. I've worked Europe many a times on 11 meters, okay? How about this right here? This antenna has been on my truck for over 750,000 miles. So has that Tar Heel over there. I've already been through 4 work trucks. This is the Comet SBB7. Now this one would give you gain. Why? Because it's longer than the typical length of a 2-meter, 70-centimeter antenna. But there is no magic. There is no hyperdrive coils on this thing. All those coils are doing are tuning that antenna to resonance. Okay, so what that does, it takes the antenna, you maybe 2.5 wavelengths on 70 centimeter, it may be a little long, so they shorten it up with those coils. So this, compared to a 19-inch antenna, a 19-inch antenna would not do as good as this antenna, this Comet dual band. But I can tell you that thing is still flat as a pancake on the SWR. And I've hit every single possible thing known to man in the state of Florida with that, and it still stays strong, so I keep it. Now look at this one. This is also by Compact Tenna, Dr. Jack. This is the Compact Tenna, the Scan 3, I think it is. Basically, this is, again, features. This little tiny antenna right here will operate close to as efficient as a standard 19-inch antenna for 2 meters. You get what I'm saying? Because that thing is small, and it has to be, these antennas specifically have to be put in a position on a corner of a hood or a corner of the top of the truck or corner of the vehicle. That's the way it's designed with Dr. Jack and his quantum theory, and it works well. I use this one for APRS. Would something like this work better on APRS, that giant one? Yes, it would, but look how big this antenna is, and it does pretty damn close. Okay, so on top of the unfinished tower, what do I have here? Well, I have my antenna I'm using now is a Chameleon MCOM 3. Don't worry about the tuner right next to it. That's from another antenna that I gotta fix that thing. But okay, so I have that right there, that little feed point right there. Okay, temporary, this is not permanent. And that wire, which is about 200 feet. Now, what is that doing? I am getting some gain because the antenna at 200 feet is resonant on some points of, maybe 30 it's good, 17 it's good, I think 15 it's good. So that's giving me features, right? That's giving me features that I'm able to have multiple bands on one piece of wire that's resonant. So that would give me a little more room. But again, if you cannot put something like this up A standard 20 meter, 30 meter, 40 meter dipole cut for frequency, there's nothing better than that. Ah, yes, but what about Yagis? Yagis are totally different, okay? Yagis, yes, you have more elements, you have different boom sizes, you have radiation patterns, you have matching networks, and you have, construction. Oh, a little bunny. Sorry, bunny. Wow, that's a big one, isn't it? Look at that. Hey, buddy. I have not seen you here before, so welcome. Yagis are a whole different animal. The bigger the Yagi, the higher up, the more elements, the better the antenna. Yes, that does happen. But as far as a simple antenna, for like a dipole or a piece of wire or an end fed, you can do a lot with it, man. You can work the world. So saying that you can only have a wire antenna means that you can't get on HF is preposterous, and I'm not sure where it's coming from. But guys, get the hype out of your head from what you may have seen on YouTube across the years, and know that if you can get a resonant antenna in the air, you can get on ham radio. So that's all I really wanted to say. I want people to get on the air. I want people to enjoy the hobby. I need more people to talk to, so do you. And that's my new thing here. If you don't like it, you can always do what I said. Unsubscribe and never watch again. I don't care. I'm not doing this for a job. I make maybe $200 a month on this from YouTube ads, but that's just money to buy other things. And I don't pay any search optimization on search engines. I don't pay any ads. I don't have a website. I do this for the love of radio and the love of the hobby. No more product reviews after I did the last couple. I just want to come up with concepts to show people who are getting in a hobby that you can do this. It's very simple, and you don't need all this stuff that you may have seen over the years on YouTube to think that that's gonna make you a better ham radio operator. Last thing I'm gonna say is this: Ham Radio Prep has been one of my longest sponsors ever, and Ham Radio Prep is by far the easiest and most current up-to-date way to get your ham radio license. And if you use the code ERIC20, you'll save 20% on the course. I guarantee you buy the course for technician or upgrade to general and extra. You study for that a couple hours a day, 1 week you'll be ready for that exam, and you're gonna know what we're doing in ham radio. You're not just studying answers out of a book. There's quizzes, games, videos, and all kinds of material, so that when you hit the ground running with your new ham radio license, you'll know what it means, simplex versus duplex, and you'll know what an off-center fed dipole is. It's all on Ham Radio Prep. Use the code ERIC20, save 20%. Get on the air and talk to me like a human being. That's what we do at Ham Radio. Enough of the this and that and whoa, no, it's communication, and it's also a service. Thanks, guys. 7-3.
Ham Radio Concepts is brought to you by HamRadioPrep.com. It's never been easier to learn about ham radio before you take the exam. And Ham Radio Prep makes it fun and guarantees your success. Visit HamRadioPrep.com. Use the code ERIC20 to instantly save 20% off every course you buy. Remember the name, HamRadioPrep.com.